Congratulations, I'm back again. It's only been a month and a couple of days. But yeah, like I said, this filming schedule for the next little bit is going to be a little crazy because I am doing lots of stuff for Stitch Basel and traveling and having visitors. But I do have some stuff to show, so I'm going to get right into it. Okay. I found 2 more cute little stitches to fit in this frame for spring. Do I want to do ones for summer? Yes. Is this the year that I'm going to have time to do it? No. This first one came from Pinker and Pumpkin .blogspot.com. That's her. She has a blog. She doesn't have an Etsy. She doesn't have a website. It's just her blog. Super, super cute. Whoops. There we go. And then this one is a freebie from Lizzie Kate that I believe I found on the Fat Quarter Shop blog. And so there they are, all finished. Now I will tell you, this one went really quick because I decided I just needed leave a little bit extra on the top so that the clip wouldn't squish the stitching, right? And it already had a frame built in. This one down here was a little trickier. Just the stitching itself was too small. Remember, it had like this black backing on it that I had broken off. So then I was like, okay, I'll make a fabric backing. The purple was too strong. Like your eye, when it was hanging on the wall and I would walk past, all I could see was the purple. So then I decided to kind of mimic this design here with some paint, some buttermilk colored paint. And first I did the dots, and then that wasn't quite right. So then I just kind of dry brushed some paint on there. And it's really funny because up close it's like, oh girl, you ruined it. It's horrible. But when it's back like this, hanging on my wall, it's absolutely perfect. It looks great. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of them for the seasons. And it's hanging in the area where my little tier tray is. Now I did attach these with Velcro. We'll see how that works. I attached the Velcro with E6000, so we'll see. But for now, I'm super happy with that. It went very well. Excuse the dress. Well, I mean, I guess I'm dressed, right? It's fine. It rained here for like 2.5 weeks, and it was glorious and wonderful and everything that I wished for in a Swiss summer. And then the sun came out, and the first few days it was super nice. And now it hasn't rained for another couple of weeks, and it's getting a little warm. And I'm sorry if you can hear the fan in the background, but I can't. I was burning up as I sat, so I have to have a little fan blowing. And it's not even blowing directly on me, but it's moving the air around here. So sorry for the noise distraction. Okay, what else did I finish? Oh, one more thing. Now that was the only fully finished thing. But, ta-da! It's all done. It's all stitched. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I've trimmed it down. I washed it. It's kind of funky because I had it rolled up in a towel to protect it. But it's all done. It's all done. It looks so good. It looks so good. And I watched a couple tutorials. My friend Suzanne suggested ice dyeing, and so I've watched some tutorials on that, and you can get a lot more control with the colors doing the ice dyeing, but it will create a more mottled look than I am going for. It won't be bad, but I'm not sure. But then I saw this other tutorial where this lady, she started with a large piece of fabric like this, and she wanted it to be rainbow. So she started with the middle color, which is yellow. Okay? And so the most intense yellow was here, but a little got here and a little got here. But that's okay, because you want it to be a little blue and a little green. And so you mix, or a little orange. And so you mix the colors. Yeah, sorry. Green, green, and orange, and so it worked. And then you did a blue, and then the red on the top, and it just looked really good. So I'm gonna play around. I need to get more dye. I have quite a few powder dyes that will work, but I don't have all the colors. But I am just thrilled right now that this turned out. It's all stitched. It's awesome. And I'll just wait till I get those dyes, and then I'll play around on a couple other fabrics, plain fabrics, to decide which will work best before I dye this. Yeah, it's done. Okay, that was it. That was all my stitching, really. The only other thing I worked, well, no, that's not true. I'm sorry, I'm a liar. I am a liar. The other thing I worked on is I did a little bit, oh, I'm going to need a backer. I just dropped that down there. Here we go. I did a little bit more on my small exchange for Stitch Puzzle. And here it is. And I think I added this little bit of floss. I started here. I don't know how much more, but I've added a little bit more. It's been kind of fun to just play around with all the different elements and just decide, what do I want to put where? I am trying to make the flosses bigger, so I've added a few stitches here and there to them. Yeah, so that's coming along. But again, I'm not stressing myself because it's June. It's the beginning of June. We're not even into double digits, and Stitch Basel is in September. So we're fine here. We're fine. So I've worked on that. And then, what have I been doing with the rest of my time? Excuse me, a lot of sewing and some travel. We went to Monaco, my daughter and my husband and I, and we went to Monte Carlo, and we watched the Grand Prix, and it was super awesome. And I don't know if you can tell, but I got like a little bit of sun. The first day we were there for the practice races, we were sitting on the grand seats. And right across from the casino, and that was really fun because we could see two curves, and then there was a straightaway, and it was great. It was very nice. And there are several different sets of races. So we watched one for a couple of hours, then we got some food, we hung out in a park, relaxed, went back, watched the second one, and then went back home and had dinner. We stayed at an Airbnb that was actually in Nice, actually just outside of Nice, very close to the airport, which also ended up being perfect because we flew in late at night, grabbed a taxi, went straight to our Airbnb super quick. Sunday morning, we flew out early, called a taxi, he picked us up, we got to the airport super quick. It was 6 minutes, he didn't even have to go on the freeway. It was great. And then we just took the train. Excuse me. We took the train in to Monte Carlo, and because we got on before Nice, going in, the first day we had super comfortable seats and everything the whole way going in. The second day, on Saturday, even more people were going because now it's the qualifying races, and so those are even more important than the practice ones. So it was kind of squishy, but we still had spaces, and we were fine with that. The second day we did not sit in the grandstands. He bought the tickets that are on the. It's underneath the palace, right? So you can see a whole bunch of the track. But it's literally you sit on the wall. There were people with blankets sitting on the side of the hill in between the trees. So the accommodations were not as nice, but you could see even more of the track. The tickets were half the price of the ones in the seats. And this crowd, these people were hardcore fans. So they were cheering and coming. It was fun, right? They were rowdy group, cheap seats. It was fun. They weren't we're here at the Grand Prix, blah, blah. They were just regular people who love to watch fast cars. So they were really into it, and it was very entertaining and fun, and we want to go again sometime and sit in those cheaper seats. Only now we'll come more prepared. We had heard, you need to bring your own blanket or stuff, and we were like, that can't be right. No, that is right. But anyway, it was really, really fun. And then the next weekend after that, there was a meetup with some awesome cross stitchers, German cross stitchers. And we met up at the Zweigart factory again. Rebecca organized it. We stitched all day Friday. They opened up their sewing room, course room for us that's not part of the shopping area, but it's like connected so we could come back and forth, use their bathroom. They provided us with a bunch of glasses for water. They brought us a big carafe of coffee and mugs. They were super, super accommodating. And all of us went back and forth several times shopping for fabric and things. And the room was beautiful. The chairs were comfy, lots of light. It was very, very nice. The next day, Saturday, let me show you what I worked on while we were there. I knew that there was going to be a lot of chit chat. I knew that there was going to be a lot of looking at other people's beautiful stitching, which there was. And so I just brought my good old handy dandy Hometown Holidays, and I just worked on backstitching. And I backstitched some on the firehouse, and I backstitched on these windows there, and I backstitched the greenery on everything on this lower level. And it was perfect because I didn't have to look at a pattern, I didn't have to concentrate, there was no frogging, and I could do it and chit chat. Did I cross stitch I took the train up and the train back. Did I cross stitch? No, I listened to a fantastic book, which I will tell you about in a minute, but I didn't cross stitch. I don't know. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to get everything out. I just want to sit and enjoy the scenery and listen to a book and chill, and so I did. But yeah, it was a good project to bring with, and I'm, a little bit more, and it was funny because a lot of people were there actually watched my Flosstubes, which was fun, and so they were excited to see it in real life. And it is true. Some of these ladies' projects that they brought, Stitchy Mama's Bella Filipinas, and, well, actually, I can't name names. Everything everybody brought, even if it was something that I would never stitch myself, was gorgeous. Great stitching, beautiful in person. Some of it wasn't finished. That was fun, too, to see it in progress. It was great. It was great. And then, of course, a few awesome, lovely people gave us some gifts. So I got this super cute needle minder, and I even was like, I'm not really a needle minder person, and yet this one, but I like to have them because I have like a little collection, and I always know who gave them to me. But this one is so lightweight. It's made out of like a really light wood. And so I can hang it on my in-hand stitching, and it doesn't really weigh it down too much. It's nice. I'm super happy. And look, it's a cute kitty, and in the best colors ever. So that was really fun. And then Saskia and Catherine, mother and daughter, homemade raspberry, well, actually not raspberry, sorry, it's rhubarb. Rhubarb jelly. And then this is like a little needle threader that she gave us, that Saskia made. Super, super pretty. That was nice. And then Frau Georgi, who is the wife of the Herr Georgi, who is the president of Zweigart, she handed us out these little hearts, and they're already completely finished all the way around. And people were like, not sure what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to do. I want to do sort of like a little rainbow across here because it's Pride Month, and for my daughter, do a little rainbow across here, and then I want to sew it onto like a tote bag that I can just use. So that's what I'm going to do with that, which was very nice of her. And of course, I did some shopping. So I was really proud of myself. I did buy some 18 count Aida that I want to dye purple because they don't have any purple Aida in 18 count, and my friend Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, really wants some purple fabric. So, and I did too. And so I saw that white Aida and I was like, okay, I'll dye that for her. And I got like a half a meter or something. Okay, so then I also found this in 36 count even weave. This purple, isn't that beautiful? Do I know what I'm going to sew on this? No, but I looked through my stash of fabric and I didn't have any more purple fabric. So I had to get it. The other thing I got, I was looking for some green fabric. And so this is also 36 count, even weave of a green. It's a pretty green. I'm not really a sampler stitcher, but like a sampler that had darker or lighter, like not a lot of greenery in it, but some of those that are just like alphabet and a house, that would look really cute on this. Some Halloween stuff would look really pretty on this. I just felt like I needed some green fabric, so I bought some. Not a whole lot, but enough. Oh, and this was fun because I really was like, I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on this. They'll cut at the Swag Art Factory. They will cut pretty much any size you want. And so I was like, I got 40 centimeters, which is not quite half a meter, clearly, because there's 50 centimeters and half a meter, right? I'm doing this for the Americans, so it's like a little less than half a yard of the green, and that's what I wanted of the purple. Well, she rolls it off the bolt, and there was only like this much total, which is like, well, it goes this way. It's like just barely over. It wasn't quite 3/4 of a yard. And I was like, oh. And she goes, oh, is this not enough? And I said, no, I only wanted 40 centimeters. But then I feel bad because there's not really going to be enough left to, like, sell. And she looks at me and she looks at the thing. And now I'd already bought several yards of fabric for a stitch basel as well. And she goes, I'll just give it to you. Sometimes it pays to be in the right place at the right time. So I got more extra fabric for no extra money. Then, as I'm waiting to check out, I wander over. They have this whole section of quilting fabric. Now, ladies, I do not need more quilting fabric, okay? But Suzanne had this awesome idea that she told us about. She had stitched this adorable mermaid, and she was going to take wooden fabric and cut around it to make it look like the mermaid was peeking out of a porthole on a sunken ship. Which, genius, sheer genius. So then I walked over to where they have all these like strips of kind of leftover fabric, and they've bundled them together in fabrics that so they coordinate. Guess what I saw? Wooden fabric in brown, in red, in this beautiful blue, in this awesome green, a gray, and a cream. And it was a whole €7.50. So yeah, that came home with me, because I'm totally going to copy Suzanne. And I told her, and she said, yes, please copy me. She's super creative. And it was a joy to meet her. It was a joy to be with all the ladies. Can I just tell you, my soul is fed. Anyway, so I picked up those. And then as I'm walking back, because the quilting fabric is kind of off in a little corner, so I had to come back around to get to where I was going to pay. And they had this table with this pile of like bundled things of fabric, and they were kind of like offcuts, so like the little bits that are left over. All different colors, all different count sizes. Look at this. So we've got a 25 count even weave. I've got a 32 count even weave. We got a 20 count Aida. We have a 32 count even weave and a 32 count linen in super cute warm colors. And now normally all of that would have been €50, but it was only 40. And they're good sized pieces. So those come home with me too. So I could have done much more damage at Zweigart, but I was very proud of myself for what I did do. And all the ladies, I think, were very happy with their choices. And it was really fun to see people's fabric in person, right? You understand that we live in cross-stitch desert, right? So like we don't have retreats all the time. We don't have any cross-stitch shops that we can go to see the stuff in person. So meeting up with people and seeing what they have bought, that's our only way. Like I saw my first piece of XJU design fabric in person this past weekend. I'd seen it in videos, but I'd never seen it in person. So that was really, really fun to be able to meet up with everybody and see all their gorgeous stuff. So then Saturday, we had a leisurely breakfast, which I have to say was slightly disappointing. That hotel, we're not going back to that hotel. But anyway, we went shopping. There was all these fun German stores, okay? This is going to be nothing to any of my American watchers. But there was this place called Teddy's, this place called Action, and then we went to this other place, Woolworth. But not Woolworths, it's Woolworth. It was so fun. There was all kinds of stuff. So I bought a hat, a sun hat. I bought this cute little mini backpack purse. And I bought a sundress. And I bought a bunch of, I went to DM and I bought a bunch of like Blistex and little travel face creams and things. And then, the Teddy store, look at this cute little house. We decided that my haunted house that I made last year, it needs a companion. We need to have a whole neighborhood. Now this one the scale is different, but that's okay. It's just set further back. And Ina bought a whole set of like little tiny wooden things. There was like squirrels and bunch of different stuff that you could glue on there. So I'm gonna buy some of those from her to make my house super cute. And then we saw somebody, Francie I think, found these and a whole different kind of style. They're €1 and they're perfect for you put a little magnet in and then they hold your needles. So I got that one. She was walking, it was so cute. She was walking around the store with her hands full of them like, do you like this one? Do you like this one? Which one do you want? Everybody can only get one. So I picked that one. It was, then I had to leave Saturday afternoon to come back home and they stayed until Sunday. Those ladies are awesome. I got to meet new people. I cannot tell you how fun it was to be with them all and so uplifting. And even my family were like, we're glad you have friends, Mom, that you can go spend time with. Me too. It was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous weekend. The weather was great. But being with those ladies was just, they are quality people. So when we're all very, very excited for Stitch Basel, almost every single one of them, I think there's only one person who's not coming to Stitch Basel that was there. So yeah, as a preview, it was great. And we've already booked. We're going again in November. Like we talked with the people at Zweigart and they've already booked the date for us to go again in November. So hang out at the Discord server and come, any of you. I guess I should do that more in the German one, but yeah, it was great. So that is what I have been up to for the past month. We've also been watching quite a bit of TV that was so like intense that I didn't want to cross stitch. I just have to watch the TV. For All Mankind, we finally started watching that. We watched, I can't remember the name of it. It's the new Kiefer Sutherland show that on Netflix. So good. Could not take my eyes away from the screen, so I couldn't watch that. We watched The Diplomat. My husband loved that show. I thought it was interesting, but he was just like, this is a great show. Citadel, not quite as good, but also interesting. So yeah, that's what, but that Kiefer Sutherland show, I can't remember what it's called, but you'll know it. It's Netflix. It just came out. Fantastic writing. It was so engaging. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. So, yeah. Oh, and then of course Ted Lasso, final season. We had to watch that. He's so good. Such a good show. So, anyway, that is what I've been up to. June, I am going to be doing a lot of working on stuff for Stitch Basel. I don't know how much cross stitch I will get to, quite honestly, so it may be a while till I come back. And then in the end of June, my daughter's coming from the States. My nephew is coming for just like 4 days, a long weekend, the end of June as well, to visit. So we're going to take him around. And then July is like end of school for my daughter. We're going to Ireland in the end of last 2 weeks of July. We're going to Portugal for 4 or 5 days, the beginning of August. So honestly, I may not come back to film until mid-August, end of August, because I just won't have anything to show. I'll be living life, but I think a lot of people are that way for summer. Also, did you notice? I don't know if you noticed, but I'm finally up to actually, for real, 500 subscribers. Yeah, so a couple of ladies who were there at the weekend apparently hadn't subscribed to me yet, and so they did, and so that bumped me up, and it stayed. Like last time, there was another time previously in February, like I hit 500 subscribers and it immediately went away again. So I don't count that. But this one has stayed for a whole 2 days, so I think it's really real. Oh, the other thing I'm working on is I'm deconstructing a quilt that I made for my daughter. So I've had to pull out all the quilting. Now I have to take apart all the fabric piecing and replace the bad black fabric with good black fabric and then requilt it again. So like I said, and then I have another daughter who put in an order for a couple of cute skirts. She's like, I don't like wearing shorts for summer, but I have this skirt. Can you copy it? And I'm like, actually, yes, I can. And she picked up fabric. So again, lots of sewing, not so much cross stitching. So maybe I'll come and show you the skirts. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for me. Life is pretty good. I did get an infection in my legs just before I went to Stuttgart. I've had it before, in fact, so often that I knew immediately what it was and started taking some antibiotics that I had left over from the last time. And then I went to the doctor on Monday because I knew the antibiotics weren't going to be the full 10-day course. And he started arguing with me. I was telling him, oh, it's that thing that I got before, blah, 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 get a bug bite, it gets infected, the infection goes into my blood, it lets a bacteria in and whatever. And he's like, I'm giving him the explanation that he gave me, right? I didn't come up with this out of my head. He explained this to me the last time it happened because I was like, why does this keep happening? This time he's like, oh, that's not how that works. We don't take antibiotics for bug bites. And I'm like, I'm not taking antibiotics for a bug bite. I'm taking antibiotics for the infection, the staph infection that I now got when the bacteria went in through my bug bite because I scratched it. He kept going on and on about how people are overprescribing antibiotics and we shouldn't take them. And I finally said to him, I'm not stupid. I'm not taking these for the bug bite. Listen to me. And he just kind of, and then at the end of the visit, as I'm walking out, he's like, no, Mrs. Charles, it's very important to me that you understand that I don't think that you're stupid and that you were taking them for the bug bite. And he goes, we have to have a relationship where you feel like you can trust me and tell me things, that's the only way it's going to work. So please, I want you to know, I apologize. I'm not thinking. And I was just looking at him, like in my head thinking, dude, I already know what doctor I'm going to call next to switch over and I'm never coming back to you again. Like, you sat there for 20 minutes haranguing me about taking antibiotics for an insect bite, which is never what I said. And it wasn't until I got forceful and yelled at you that you stopped. So, trust is gone. The problem is there's a severe doctor shortage in Switzerland. But I do know the doctor my daughter goes to has openings. Partially because he's also kind of a jerk. But she says there's a physician's assistant that works in his office that's really, really nice. So, we'll see. I don't have to go to the doctor very often, but when I do, it's serious, and I do not like being tugged down to. But anyway, he tested my blood and comes back and he's like, oh, you have an infection that needs antibiotics. That's when he finally listened to me. And I was like, yeah, yeah. But that's the whole thing of women not being listened to by their doctors, right? So, whatever. Sadly, that's just how it is. But yeah, so that's what's going on with my life. Most things are pretty good. I am mostly a happy person, but sometimes it ticks me off, especially people not listening to me. So, anyway, I will talk to you guys again in probably mid-August. All right? Bye.